Hello everyone! Today I'm going to share with you all the books on my TBR. I've done this video a lot on my channel. It's no secret about that. I like to keep you up to date with what's on my TBR, but this time it's going to be different. I'm only going to show you what's on my TBR cart because I don't even have a shelf anymore. If you don't know, I had to move offices. Sounds so official. I had to move offices. No, my office was currently in where my daughter's room is now, but we've had to move and kind of convert our garage into both a shared like office and music space and where the washer and dryer are for all that. So I had to lose an entire like bookcase. So I don't have a shelf anymore for books. So I now only have a cart. So I really only keep what's on my cart on my TBR. So I thought, hey, I would share with you, since it's the beginning of the year and we always talk about resolutions and plans and things like that, that I would share with you what is currently on my TBR cart. Before we get into that though, this video is so kindly sponsored by Book of the Month. If you don't know, Book of the Month is a book service for, you guessed it, us readers out there. Each month their team goes through so many selections of new releases and picks the 5 best they think that their readers would really enjoy. Beginning of each month they release their 5 selections and you can pick one each and every month. They also have add-ons, which is amazing, and also you can look at their backlist to see all of their titles they put previously in there and just go through their whole selection that they've had last year, the year before, things like that. They also offer a wide variety of genres. Like every genre usually is in a Book of the Month box at least once a year. They offer like romance, thrillers, literary fiction, a lot of nonfiction, fantasy, just the genres are endless. Like they just offer so many different ones. Not only that, but they always also feature new and upcoming authors, and a lot of the times they put in books that are not even out yet on their list. So you can get sneak peeks of some amazing books that are not even out yet, but you're getting to read it. Like how amazing is that? Book of the Month is a great service that I always recommend to readers because it's really personal. Like it's not a typical book box where you get a book selected for each month. You get to select your own book every month. It's totally up to you. Out of the 5 selections, you can be like, I want this one. Or maybe in a particular month, you're not feeling that month. You can skip it without any repercussions at all and just pick up the next month. It's totally whatever you want to do. You can customize it to how you see fit. So if you're interested in checking out Book of the Month, you can get your first book for only $9.99, which let me tell you, is an amazing price. You don't want to miss out on it. Like you need to go check out the deal. You can use the code Bookables at checkout to get your first book for $9.99 because we all know how pricey regular books are. They're pricey. Like it's not cheap at all. Book of the Month makes it pretty easy to try out your very first time for them. So in case you want to try it out, use the code, get your first book for $9.99. It's an amazing deal, an amazing price, an amazing deal. Check it out. The links will be down below for you to do so. So thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. And in fact, the first 5 books I'm going to share with you today that are on my TBR cart are the January selections for Book of the Month. To be honest with you, I don't know much about any of these, so we're going to discover them together. First up, we have Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly, but looking at the cover, it looks very much like a book I would read. There's nothing like a little competition to heat things up. London and Dia's growing relationship can take the heat, or are they about to get burned? So I think this is about a relationship in the culinary world, which is just my jam. I love books that have to feature baking or cooking. I'm just obsessed. Then we have Fiona and Jane by Jean Che-Ho, which the cover is beautiful. This is a witty, warm, and irrelevant book that traces the lives of 2 young Taiwanese-American women as they navigate friendship, sexuality, identity, and heartbreak over 2 decades. So this is definitely like a literary fiction, hard-hitting book that sounds amazing. Then we have a thriller, and that is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawking. So this is One Island, 6 Visitors, Countless Secrets, and I think a person goes missing, another one ends up dead. The friends wonder what dark currents lie beneath this paradise and who else will be swept under its secluded chaos. So this one almost sounds kind of like movies I've heard before, like Old by M. Night Shyamalan. There's also another one called The Island, I think, that came out a while ago. So it's kind of like a tropical kind of thriller, which would be interesting to read in, you know, in the bleakness of January. Then we have Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson, which this cover is amazing. This is, we can't choose what we inherit, but we can choose who we become. So this takes place in present-day California. And basically, I think a woman leaves, her death leaves behind a puzzling inheritance for her 2 children. She leaves a traditional Caribbean black cake. Oh, interesting. It's a story of how the inheritance of betrayals, secrets, memories, and even names can shape relationships and history. Oh, it's a journey through life of a family changed forever by the choices of its matriarch. This sounds amazing. I'm gonna need to read this like ASAP because it sounds really interesting. Then the last book we have is The Magnolia Palace by Fiona Davis. I'm gonna guess this one might be historical. Forgot to mention historical as a genre. This is a novel about secrets, betrayal, murder within one New York's most impressive Gilded Age mansion. So this takes place in 1919 with the Spanish flu outbreak, and now we take place 50 years later with, I think, murder, historical murder. That's amazing. Also, like I said, they have add-ons each month, and the add-on this month is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year, and that is The Maid by Nita Prose. When I first saw this book, I was like, oh, it looks like a thriller, but then I was reading about it, and it was compared to Clue, and Clue is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I rewatch it probably like 3 times a year. That's how much I love it. So this is about a character named Molly, who, you guessed it, is a hotel maid, and she goes into the hotel one day and finds Mr. Black dead in his bed, and she's like, oh my gosh. And so the authorities come and they're all pointing at her, and so she's like, what the heck? So it's told very much like Clue, both a Clue-like locker room mystery and a heartwarming journey of the spirit. So I'm super excited. So if these titles interest you at all, like I said, be sure to check them out at the link down below. They are all sounds amazing. I love the selections they choose each and every month. I always like to play a guessing game of what books will they choose this month. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Now, let's get in all to the books I have in my TBR cart, because there's quite a lot. I haven't counted. Maybe you can count for me and let me know. So here's the deal with my TBR cart, especially lately. I told you guys, I just had my second child. She's 4 months old now. I'm still not reading books physically yet because it's just, like, I'll be honest with you, she's a horrible sleeper. Like, no, I don't get any sleep at all. Like, it's how it is. And that's just how life is right now. So the book, the thought of reading a physical book is just like, it's not possible for me. So I read mostly on the Kindle app on my phone. It's just the most practical for me. It's what I had to do with my son when he was first born for like the first year of his life until you get in the rhythm. So what I try to do with my TBR cart is a few weeks, like if I have a lull in my like NetGalley reading or things like that, I will look through my TBR cart and I'll like go to my library's website and I'll type in the title and see if they have these books on ebook for me to check out from the library. Or sometimes if they have them on super discount Kindle sales, I'll buy them then because I just don't read them physically. I've done this a lot of ways. Actually, one book I can take out right now that I just finished because I had the Kindle is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. So that's just how it goes. So these are all the books on my TBR cart that I hope to get to. I really do. It's just physically, it's just not happening right now. But you're not here for all that. You're here to see what's on my cart, what I really do plan to read. In fact, I think I'm on hold with like the most of these books on my library. Like there's so many holds on these. One of them being Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. I've read all of her books before. I've done a whole author video for her. I think like I'm hold number 20 on 40. So it's gonna be a while at the library. This is like a family mystery thing, typical kind of Liane Moriarty fashion. Then we have A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. I'm also on the list for this at the library. I'm not super like jumping to read it. I just haven't heard the best about it. And her last book I didn't love, but I still love Girl on the Train. It was my first thriller I ever read. I loved it, and I feel like I'm the only one. Speaking of library, a lot of these are library. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I really want to make it a priority to read this in 2022. I feel like everybody's read it, everybody's talked about it. You're either a huge fan of it or you loathe it. I really want to figure out where I'm going to fall on the spectrum of it. Honestly, don't know. We'll have to see. It's a historical book. It was in Reese's book club. Everyone raved about it when it came out a couple of years ago. I'm on hold in the library. That one is forever. Like, I think I've been on hold for that for like almost 6 months. My turn's still not there. Then we have How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. It's a fun romantic book about, you guessed it, How to Marry Keanu Reeves, which who wouldn't, honestly? It's a fun one. 2 sequels on here that I've yet to read. I feel horrible about it. The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's a sequel to The Inheritance Game. It's a YA, like, kind of Knives Out book that I just loved. I really need to read this one. Like, I really need to. I had to physically own it because it's so beautiful. I would say, in fact, most of my 90% of my buying now is ebooks, and that's just how it goes. And the other sequel is The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I don't know when I'll get to this because while I loved Deadly Education, it was dense. It was so dense, like so info dumpy. I don't know when I'll get to read this because I think this is going to take up a lot of time and brain power, both of which I don't have right now. But either way. Then we have The Project by Courtney Summers. I've read one other book by her, Sadie. I loved The Project. I've heard very iffy things about, and to be honest, I don't read a ton of YA books anymore. I just really don't. So this is one that it's like 50-50. It's a 50% chance maybe I'll read it and a 50% chance that it won't happen. And just so you know, I do cull out my TBR cart quite a lot. I'm a very realistic reader. Like if a book stays on my cart or my shelf for more than a year, it goes, because I'm just like, I actually didn't prioritize it. I don't know. Another YA book, Between You, Me, and the Honeybees by Amelia Diane Combs. I always keep a few YA contemporaries on my TBR cart because I have such a soft spot for YA contemporaries. It's ridiculous. So I always save a couple of them on there for when I'm like in a funk. I have some romance books. We have Lucky Leap Day by Anne-Marie Walker. I'm pretty sure I can get an e-copy of this. It's a romance book that comes out actually this month, so I should probably get a hold of that. Another one I do have an e-copy of, but I actually have a physical copy of, and that is Donut Fall in Love. I love those punny titles. I'm obsessed with them. This one is a bake provides the sweetest escape for an actor in this charming romantic comedy. I'm a sucker for anything that's set in like the baking world because that is who I am. Then we have Love Next Door by Helena Hunting. I've read a few of her books before. I do have an e-copy of this one as well, so I need to get to it soon. All I know, it's a romance book set in a small town. I keep a lot of romance books on my shelves because I think I'm always perpetually saving them for a rainy day. Then we have one that actually should break the rule of being on my shelf for pretty long, but I can't get rid of it, is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This is a book all about a teacher and student relation that's very intense, and I don't want to get rid of it because I know I'm going to really be gripped by the story, but I have to be emotionally ready for it, and I haven't been since I bought it. So when that time will be, I don't know, but this will stay on my shelf because I do plan to read it. It's just going to be a matter of when, because I just emotionally, my heart ain't there yet. I think we has another romance book. Yes, The Sweetest Remedy by Jane Agaro. This one sounds so adorable. This is a woman that travels to Nigeria to attend the funeral, and then she discovers parts of herself she didn't know was missing. I've heard amazing things about it. I really, really want to read it. Another book that's been on my shelf for quite some time that could go either way, and that is In a Book Club Far Away by Tiff Marcello. This is like all about, I think, yeah, 3 army wives, estranged friends who must overcome their differences when one of them is desperate for help. I think it's all about them having a book club. I don't know. Another one that I have to emotionally prepare myself for because I just ain't there yet. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I love Kristen Hanna books. My favorite book of all time is The Nightingale. So yeah, I've read like 3 of her books, but they take an emotional toll on me. And right now I am very emotionally fragile after having a second kid. It's just hard. But so the thought of reading this right now, it does not appeal to me in the slightest because it's going to tear me up. Maybe it'll be this year. Maybe it'll be next year. I don't know, but I will read it. When? I do not know. Another one's been on my shelf for a while that I just can't seem to get rid of. The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. This is a sci-fi book that I've heard amazing things about, and I really want to read more sci-fi this year. Like, I just want to make that a priority. So I need to put this on my top shelf so I can like put this on hold at the library because I really want to read it. Like, I need to. A new one that's on my shelf that I don't know is The Empire of the Vampire by Jake Kristoff. Look at this thing. How many freaking pages is this? What was I thinking when I bought this? It's 734 pages. When am I going to have time to read this? Like, literally, when? I don't know. But you know me. It's got the word vampire in it. What's it immediately grab for me? Vampire. Like, Buffy, you done ruined me. Another thriller I have is The Collective by Allison Galen. This is like a whole bunch of moms that get together and like do some revenge. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of into that because I could probably be a part of that group. I don't even know, but either way, I don't know if I've heard a lot about that book, honestly. Oh, we have Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Santano, which I get recommended a ton, and need to move this to my front shelf because I've just heard it's funny and amazing and all those things, so I definitely plan to read that this year. 2 that I just don't know if I'll read, Makeup Breakup by Lily Menon. I've just heard so iffy things about it, and it just doesn't, it sounds horrible because I love Sanaa Menon's books, but I just don't know about this one. And then Once Upon a Sunset by Tiff Marcello is one I've had on my shelf for a while that's literally there for a rainy day. Is that a good thing? The book by Amanda Salad. Again, another YA contemporary that I still need to read. I mean, this is just, I mean, I would like to say I would read all of these. I really do, but it's just the practical part of me. It's just like, I don't know if it's going to happen this year, and that's okay. Another YA contemporary, As If on Cue by Marissa Cantor. I have read a book by this author, and I'm pretty sure I can get this on ebook, so I might have to check that out. Looks like it's got music involved in with it, so I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, More Than a Pretty Face, another YA contemporary that I need to read, by Sanam and Masood. Need to read it. Another baking one I have, Rosalind Parker Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall. Just, I feel like I'm just internally beating myself up for this. And that's just how it's gonna go. Speaking of internally beating myself up, I have both Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Have yet to read these. These are YA sci-fi books that I've heard literally nothing but good things about. I need to check them out. I need to see if my library has them. I've read one other Brandon Sanderson book before, Mistborn. Really enjoyed it, so I just need to make a party with all of these. It's so hard for me right now because I'm such a person that loves new releases, but then I also look at my TBR cart and I'm like, I'm sorry, books, I'm sorry. And they're like, we hate you, you should read us. It's just a constant, you know, beating yourself up relationship. Oh, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I think I was planning to read this fall, and then I just didn't get around to it. So I'll probably save this for next year. I think I've done that for 2 years now, but I mean, like, I don't know if I could ever get rid of this book because it's like the epitome of an 80s VHS cover, and I just, that's my jam. The Witch Hunter by Max Siak. This is an adult thriller. I should probably read this now because it's set in the winter. It would probably be the perfect time to read it. This is Our Story by Ashley Elston. This is a YA thriller that I need to check out. I need to see if all these are in the library. Dating Makes Perfect by Pintip Dunn, another YA contemporary that's super adorable, I've heard. And then You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno. I've read a few Katrina Leno's books before, particularly Horrid, which I read last year, and no, not last year, the year before. We're in 2022, people. I'm telling myself that. And I love, so I was like, I need to read all of her books ASAP. Oh, then I have another Kristen Hitt book, Night Road. This one, I mean, all of her books are freaking intense. Will I be ready for them? I don't know. Oh, I forgot this was on here. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Everyone loves this book. I'm gonna have, you know, this will help me rearrange my shelf to like figure out which ones I want to check out soon. This one I've heard it's just happy and amazing, and that's exactly the type of books I need in my life right now, so I need to read those ASAP. Oh, this one might win the award for being on my shelf the longest. New Orleans Rush by Kelly Siskade. I've had this on my shelf for probably like 3 years now. It's just an adult romance that I've been saving for a rainy day, and it's raining right now. Why am I not reading it? I don't know. The Pastors by John Mars. I've read two John Mars books. The one loved. What Lies Between Us, I didn't love. So we'll have to see where I am with this one. And then the last 2 books I have, I believe, are Agatha Christie books. Yes. Death on the Nile, which I do really want to read, and then Midwinter Murder. This is a whole bunch of different short stories, which probably be a great time to read right now as we're in the thick of winter. So there you have all of the books on my TBR cart. This is to help me to, like, obviously I'm going to reorganize the mess of it now for priority, because there's a lot that I was like, I didn't even realize was on there because I'm that bad. But it's for me to realize how much I have on my shelf. Also for you to tell me which books I need to read ASAP. What books are on this cart that you're like, I cannot believe she hasn't read that. Like, shame on you, which I know, shame on me. But I would love to know what books that you think I need to read like ASAP. Please let me know, because I need to like read more. It's hard right now. I'm in a season of my life where I want to read like a lot, but I literally, I'm not exaggerating this, I don't have the time for it with 2 kids and a horrible sleeper with 1 kid, and the other one's a special needs kid. It's hard to balance it all. I know I'll get there one day, but that day is not right now. And I just have to embrace that that's my life right now, and that is okay. But I would love to hear what books you think that I need to read like right now, like stop what I'm doing and read it right now. Please let me know. And like I said, be sure to check out Book of the Month, because I'm going to add these to my cart to make it even more full. let's do it. But I would love to know what books, how many books you have in your TBR cart. How many did I have? I guess like probably like 30 or 40. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.